Fighting games are already complicated, but then NetherRealm said, let's make it even more confusing.
Oh my god!
From secret abilities to unfair glitches and everything in between, let's discuss the craziest secrets that NetherRealm has ever made. But before we go any further, make sure to subscribe if you're new, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like after watching. Without any further ado, let's get started. So first up, let's talk about Kotal Kahn. In Mortal Kombat X and Mortal Kombat 11, this guy has secret moves that the game does not tell you about. I don't know what the developers have against Kotal Kahn, but it's something, because they keep all these secrets hidden. But first we have to talk about Mortal Kombat X. So Kotal Kahn has this move called Blood Offering. This gives him a temporary damage buff, and it's a pretty good damage buff, but as you can see, it comes at a cost. It does damage to Kotal Kahn himself, exactly 10%. And then we have Blood Totem. This buff does a lot of things, but most importantly for this video, it gives the damage that you deal to the opponent back as health. So right there I did 28% and I got 7% back. So that is exactly 1/4, or in other words 25% of the damage you deal comes back as health. However, here's the big twist. Blood Totem and Blood Offering are married, and the game does not tell you this, but these two moves function together in a variety of ways. So for starters, if you do Blood Offering after activating the totem, you get that 10% damage back. So it's almost like you took no damage in the first place. Check this out. Boom, 10% right back to the health bar. So already that's pretty great, but then on top of that, you get 50% of the damage you dealt back as health instead of just 1/4. Check this out. Boom, 20.5%. I did 42% damage, so exactly half damage back. So for a best case scenario, I'll summon the totem, get the Blood Offering, and then do a ton of damage to Devora before that timer runs out, and check this out. I'm gonna get back over 1/4 of my health bar, 25%, that is nuts. But if that wasn't crazy enough, you also get super meter as well, so watch that super bar down below. I'm gonna get almost full super off of this short amount of time. Boom, look at that. I almost have 3 bars completely full. So yeah, Blood Offering and Blood Totem work together. They're married. And once again, the game never tells you any of this. The players just had to find this out through trial and error. And some of you at home might be thinking, well, what are the odds of summoning the totem and then getting the Blood Offering? But keep in mind, summoning totems in this game is so much easier. So right here, for example, I'm at +4. So if the opponent presses any buttons, I can hit them. In fact, I can do back 1, 2, 2. And if the opponent presses any buttons, they're going to get hit. So check this out as an example. No, don't press any buttons. I'm gonna do it again, this time with the punish string. No, Devora, don't press any buttons. You don't get to. I'm +4. So from mid-screen especially, summoning your Blood Totem and then getting the Blood Offering was much easier than you might think. And as a result, I really wish NetherRealm told you these two moves were together, but sadly they don't, and it remains a secret to this very day. But at least now you know because you watched the video. And next up we have Ferra. I made a video about this guy last week and I left a lot of stuff out, and I apologize for that. But in my defense, this character was never that popular, which is likely why these secrets remain undiscovered until today. So for starters, this move Torr charge is way better than we gave it credit for in last week's video. For starters, it's a parry for no reason. Why? Because the move is fully invincible on startup, and that's a glitch. You cannot convince me otherwise. I think NetherRealm knew about it but just didn't care to change it because once again this character's not that popular. However, now it's time to see it in action, so I'm gonna tell Trimmer to do this string on block, and check this out. Look at that, I blew right through it. How hilarious is that? It didn't even do damage. Keep in mind, it was not armor. It's just fully invincible on startup for no reason whatsoever. So you can blow through moves if there's a gap. However, we're still not done talking about this move. Like I mentioned last week, the amplified version does have armor, but you will be shocked at how many hits of armor that it has. And just in case you don't play this game, most attacks only have 1 hit of armor, if they have any at all. But then some are a rare exception and have 2 hits, and then some have 3, but that is extremely rare. However, then there's Ferra, and you're gonna bust out laughing when you see this. Oh my god, that was at least 4 hits of armor. Someone in the comments said that it has up to 6 hits of armor, but as you can see, it's kind of hit or miss. But look at that. Oh my god, 6 different hits of armor. That is ridiculous. I literally can't think of any other character in the game who can do this without activating some kind of buff, and even then, I don't think it's possible. I think Ferra is the only character who gets this many hits of armor on an amplified move. That is insane. God, I love Ferra, but we're still not done talking about him, because next up we have to talk about Pain and Gain. So if you watched my video last week, then you know that this move has armor. Despite being a damage buff and being great for extending combos, it also has a godlike armor, which if used correctly can actually punish the opponent for trying to take their turn back. So that's crazy enough as is. However, like that same commenter told me, this move can have multiple hits of armor depending on how many times you use the buff. So this time I'm gonna do Pain and Gain and then pop it a second time, and check it out. I get 2 hits of armor. Let's pop it twice and then do it a 3rd time on block. Look at that, 3 or 4 hits of armor. That is wild. And keep in mind, if used correctly, you can recover in time to block. Check this out. Ooh, look at that. I didn't even get punished. Not really. I got hit and took some damage, but Liu Kang did not get a knockdown or a follow-up of any kind, so I still saved myself from a lot of damage. And once again, the game does not tell you any of this. All it says is gains a temporary buff at the expense of health. Nowhere does it tell you that you get armor and that you get more armor for every time you do the buff. That is nuts. However, next we have the strangest part, because apparently if you run cancel this buff to extend combos or pressure, anything like that, you don't get all of the armor. You only get half. Or in other words, it takes 6 run cancels if you want the maximum armor, but if you do 3 regular buffs without the run cancel, then you get all of the armor much faster. And now real quick, let's head over to Mortal Kombat 9. Now this game almost gets a free pass because it was the first game that NetherRealm ever made. However, even so, there is one very big secret that I think is worth mentioning because a lot of pro players knew about it, but very few casual players did. You see, normally in a fighting game, when a character's on the ground, you can no longer hit them until they get back up. That's a pretty common thing. However, there are some exceptions like the meter burn smoke bomb. This will catch the opponent regardless of their state. All they have to do is be on the ground. So put simply, smoke can do any combo and then end with forward 4 into the meter burn smoke bomb and get a second combo for free. And Smoke was not the only character who could do this. Characters like Jax and even Scorpion had moves that hit off the ground. Now imagine playing this game, especially when it first came out, and having no idea that characters could do this. Once again, only pros knew for a little bit, and then after watching tournament play, everyone else figured it out. Or at least everybody that was watching tournament play. A lot of players I don't think watch tournaments, but if you did, then you learned about this tech. And next up, let's talk about Injustice, because nobody believes me when I tell them this, but in this game, there is a combo breaker. However, you can only do it once and only when you've already lost 1 bar of health. And I can guarantee you that 90% of players think that it breaks anything, but that's actually not true. There are certain moves and combos that cannot be combo broken with this wager system. And one of the absolute best examples is Solomon Grundy's trait. So it's actually an unblockable throw, and by default, you can't clash this thing at all. Look at that, 3 hits, and at no point could you escape it. However, on top of that, all 3 of these chains have some guaranteed damage in them. The opponent can't clash right away, so no matter what, you're getting some guaranteed damage. For example, let's start off with the health chain. I'm gonna input the first part, then the second part, and I'm not gonna get all of it before the opponent can clash, but even so, I still got a guaranteed 12%. That's pretty darn good. However, if you want maximum damage, then just do the power chain, because the opponent can't clash any of this. Well, they can clash the very last hit, but at that point, you're not reducing the damage at all, so what's even the point? Look at that, a guaranteed 17%. But then things only get crazier from here, because next up we have Lightheaded. This normal attack is ridiculous, and the game tells you nothing about it. So for starters, it guarantee combos into his throw, and the game doesn't treat it as a combo, it's a reset, which means that all of the damage is guaranteed. If that's 7%, then the trait, it does around 9%, so that means 16% damage was just guaranteed. The opponent had no way to escape it, even with the combo breaker. It's a guaranteed 16%. So I bet you already know where I'm going with this. Combine that with the power chain, and you get a lot of guaranteed unbreakable damage. Check this out. Ugh, that was 17% damage on top of the 9% damage before that, all of which was unescapable by the opponent, even if they had the combo breaker available. In fact, he can get even more because I forgot about Grave Rot, so this move does damage to the opponent as long as they're close to Grundy. And guess what? The power chain is the best one because they stay close to him for the longest amount of time, so he gets maximum damage. Okay, so now I'm excited. What's the damage look like now? It's gonna be even higher. And once again, this is all inescapable. You can't clash it, just hold all of this damage. Oh, look at that health bar just melt away. All that damage was guaranteed. 38%, and then add 7% on top of that. Oh my god, this character is insane, especially once you learn this game is lying to you and that no combo break is guaranteed. However, the saddest part is I guarantee a majority of Grundy players did not know any of this. But I know what you want. You want glitches, and Kotal Kahn still has one with his totems, and it was taught to me by Aziz, and I'm calling it the Phantom Totem. You see, normally any crushing blow will cancel out the totems. However, if you summon 2 totems, then carry the opponent away far enough to summon a new totem by itself, and then land a crushing blow, you'll have a phantom totem, which means your damage buff sticks around even if you summon more totems. So in theory, you could have up to 4 or 5 totems on screen that are all giving you a damage buff. Now I know that might be confusing, so let's break it down. Step 1, summon 2 totems. Step 2, knock the opponent away and summon a third totem. Step 3, land a crushing blow, and there you go. You now have a phantom totem that is still giving you a damage buff despite it being gone forever. And I wish I could say the damage buff stayed active for the entire match. It does not. It has the same timer that a totem normally would, so eventually it will go away. But the point is, it sticks around even after the crushing blow, which is insane because that's not supposed to be possible. So once again, a big shout out to Aziz for teaching me this tech. Now, if any of you watching know of any more secrets in NetherRealm games, make sure to post it in the comment section down below because I would love to make a part 2. So if you enjoyed this video, leave a like down below and keep that combo going by subscribing and ringing that bell. That way you never miss any future videos. Make sure to come back next time, and as always, stay underdogs.